Yes, he maxed out his credit card, ladies and gentlemen, but he got the fire-bending sign in the air. He's your host, Mr. Justin Nichols.
What up, YouTube? Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to be high energy tonight because I watched this episode last week and I was low energy. I took an Ativan or whatever the hell puts you out. What puts you out now? Ativan, right?
I think they all do.
Xanax.
Yeah. Xanax. But I'm not that today. I just had a great day with my little girl. Took her to her first soccer lesson. It was amazing. Manchester United called. Said they're looking for a midfielder. We'll talk.
If they join the Super League, you're like, no.
We should have talked about that. How did that not make the cut? Anyways, whatever.
Put her on Crystal Palace.
Yeah. I am your host, Justin Nichol. I'm happy to be here. We're going to have a great show. I'm excited about the topics we have to talk about tonight. We were arguing about the order because they're so awesome. It's going to be nonstop. It's going to be great. And we are joined by the enigmatic, the beautiful, the soft as silk voice, Marc Blouin. Marc Blouin, the voice of God. Say hi, Marc.
Nope, I'm separating from Canada. You
fucked
that's
up
right.
My
name.
Because how do you say it?
Referendum. It's Blouin.
Blouin. Do you know what's crazy is he hears it, but we don't. Like he hears the difference, but we don't.
Yeah, where it's like I said Marc Blouin. I don't understand.
I said Marc Blouin. I don't know
exactly how he says it.
No, I'm separating for sure. Referendum is happening during this show. I want to say hi to you guys. Hi to our audience. I see Pyra in there. Nice to see you, Pyra. And want to let you know if
you're one other person.
Yeah,
awesome.
if you want to give the stream a like and subscribe, it would be very, very much appreciated. That's what keeps us going. It's your engagement.
Yes, and I just want to say, Izzy, April, Pyra, we love having you. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the support. We will not let you down. And I had an idea that I haven't even run by my partners yet. I have trivia questions, lock, stock, and ready to rock.
Okay, we're good.
I thought if the audience wants a few trivia questions mixed in, we can oblige. And I will give out tickets to a future House of Comedy, Justin Nichol Comedy Brawl show to anyone who gets the answers right. Just understand it's on a rain check basis.
2023. We hope to welcome you back.
Because some comedian 25 years ago broke Bonnie Henry's heart, and she has never forgiven him. And she won't allow comedy to be done in BC ever again. So
it's funny because comedy is like taking it, right up there with music, like just right in the teeth. Every other business at least has been open for a bit.
Comedy, music, bars, and restaurants. But don't worry, you can go to Playland next week because apparently COVID doesn't like roller coasters.
Yeah, I did see that Playland was open. I had a few people calling the radio this week just being like, how is Playland opening? I'm like, I don't know, Do you not want things open? I'm like, I guess I'm excited.
Yeah, man, whatever.
I guess because it's mostly outside. I think that's mostly it.
Yeah, and that makes sense because I'm always like, well, I'm outside, relax. So I don't want to be a hypocrite.
But I understand, it's the perception of it, right? Like opening a theme park, it seems crazy.
I know. Priorities. Anyways, all right.
Open the spray park first.
We're going to talk about a lot of that stuff in a bit, but let's get to our first story. I've been excited to talk about this story all week long. I haven't stopped talking about it because this is just so classically human to do this. We're so desperate to just murder ourselves.
Oh, yes.
Marc, do you want to start
it too? So what a great time to have this story.
Well,
Marc, do you want to?
Yeah, the first story we got here tonight, gentlemen, is it happened here in Vancouver. So we're gonna we're gonna start with this, but this is just as crazy, crazy. Hold on. So apparently there was a man riding a scooter in Stanley Park, and he crashed into a coyote. And then maybe hurt the coyote, and then he was attacked by the coyote's buddies.
He had to fight off the coyote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, coyotes do this. I've seen it on a video where a coyote will pretend to be hurt to lure a dog in. They lure the dog in, and then the dog comes in like, "What's up, buddy? Are you okay?" And then boom, the gang members came in around him. These coyotes were from Surrey, and they coordinate, they communicate. But here's the thing: every time this guy tells the story, there's two more coyotes every single time.
It's like a fishing story. But Justin, if you got attacked by a coyote, every time you would tell this story on stage, it would be 2 coyotes,
Yes.
4 coyotes.
6.
The coyotes would grow at an exponential pace far
Yes.
greater than
Oh
COVID.
yeah, and you know what's funny is hilarious about this story. First off, what's going on with coyotes? They're getting more and more aggressive.
Coyotes are.
They're really upset lately. But I like that he's like, and then I called the police. Like, what were you gonna do? Like, can you give us a description
Yeah.
of the coyote?
No, police are like, what do you want us to do with the coyote, man?
Yeah, yeah. Like he looked like a dog if he was doing crack.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Did the coyote steal your bike? Because then we can talk.
That's what I'm saying. We'll put out an APB right away on that coyote.
Well,
Yeah, what is
you are number 82 on our priority list today, Coyote Fighter. All right, what's next up, Mark?
Well, actually, I wanted to ask you guys: have you ever seen a coyote in Vancouver, walking around?
Not in the city of Vancouver, no.
Not in the city, and I'm not allowed to go there anymore for now. But I haven't seen one.
Well, I actually saw one.
Red Sox.
I saw one once. I was leaving a friend's house in Upper Hastings, where it's not the bad part of Hastings, but past Commercial Drive. So a nice part of like kind of East Vancouver.
Yeah,
And
sunrise.
yeah, and just walking out of their house around 10 p.m., I saw a dog kind of like skip by me, and it had a very bushy tail, and it was gray, and it was definitely going somewhere. Like it wasn't lost, and it was by itself. And that thing, I said to my girlfriend, what is that? And she said, that's not a dog. That looks like a coyote. So these things are actually roaming around Vancouver. I mean, it's
Listen, yeah, no, they got them in New York. In New York City, they're in New York. Like they're deep in the city, man. They can adapt. They can live anywhere. They are. I don't know, man. For how unhealthy they look, they are killing it. Like they're managing, man. They're fine. They'll be fine. They're COVID friendly.
Coyotes are fine.
Yeah.
I got chased by a skunk once. That's my only nature story.
All right, next story. Mark, you want to hit it up?
Yeah, next story. This is so. What did you want to call this segment, Justin? You wanted to call this. Go ahead.
I wanted to call this segment, and we'll be doing it every week from now on. This segment is called "Alex Jones was 100% right."
Oh my God.
Yeah. God bless that man.
So scientists have thought it's a good idea because I guess we've been on this planet too long or something. I don't know, but they decided that they're going to do the first ever human monkey hybrid. Gene splicing because because that's safe, right? Like what could possibly go wrong? I mean, as long as we don't teach them to ride horses, I'm sure we'll be fine, right?
Oh, yeah. As long as we don't teach them to take over the planet, then it'll be okay.
But Alex Jones said this was happening like 6 years ago, and people were like, "You're crazy, shut up!" And it's happening now. And think about this for a second, okay? Like, because chimps are like 10 times stronger than a human being. I saw a video one time of a chimp attack another chimp and rip that chimp's arm off his own body, and then he beat him with the arm. Okay,
what?
And you know what I thought when I was watching that? I'm like, we should make that monkey smarter. We should.
Yeah. Whoa, that's the craziest thing. Yeah, they want to do this, right? Because they're like, the scientist was like, whoa, guys, slow down. We're not creating evil monsters. Like the scientist immediately had to he's like, hey guys, we're splicing human and monkey genes. Next sentence. Whoa. We're not making monsters. I'm like, well, thank you for clarifying that. What's your name? Dr. Evil Scientist? Okay, that's awesome. They want to do this so that they can grow us human organs for transplant. And I'm like, did we not already watch that in The Matrix? Did we not already talk about this last week with the people drinking adrenochrome?
Okay. Can we pick a less athletic animal though? Possibly. Can we pick an animal that just minds its own business, like a pig or something like that?
Yeah, definitely not a coyote though. Coyote is bad. Chimp is bad.
Yeah. You're picking an animal that can do parkour anywhere.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's
So
pick something that no one cares about. We all love them. Giraffe.
Oh, well, so is that your choice, Jeremy? I was going to ask you guys, if you had the opportunity to be chimeraed or, combined with an animal, what animal would you choose?
Whoa. Do I want to be combined with a giraffe?
Yeah.
No. Do you want to suppress my rage? Yes. But if I'm picking, probably great white shark.
Ooh.
Yeah, but then you're like Aquaman. It's like, what use do
That's
you
true.
have as a
Aquaman
superhero, right? Hey, buddy. I would say elephant, rhino, in order. Elephant, rhino, gorilla, and then I don't know. I think gorilla is a good one, but that's kind of the monkey gene thing. But only me. Okay. Look, I think the only logical reason to do this would be because scientists are trying to figure out how we're going to battle the robots that enslave us one day. It's going to be an apocalyptic fight between monkey humans and robots, and then they're going to make monkey human robots. So we're screwed.
Sorry, I didn't.
If you could be joined with another animal, which animal would you want to be? Human and animal mixed.
Pressure's on, buddy.
Okay, he's out.
Sorry.
Stop throwing pepper in his face.
No.
Yeah.
I would be
Half Jack, half.
crab. Actually, no. No.
All right.
All right, Justin.
You go back to your
What
video
animal
games.
did you say? I heard you talk a lot, but what animal did you choose?
I said in order: elephant, rhino, gorilla, and then the fourth one I don't know is eluding me right now because there's so many animals to choose from.
They're all good.
Maybe crocodile,
I like that. Alligator, crocodile.
because they don't die. They like are.
You know Ben 10.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
I would.
See you later.
Let's go, Charles.
All right. I would choose gazelle. I think
He loves
Sounds
Ben
good.
10.
gazelle. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of a svelte and thin, and like I have very fine features. So I think like
Because
a.
well, you are French Canadian.
Well, you
I
got
am,
dancer's legs. You got
I do.
dancer's legs.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
You
let's
guys
in the
should
chat.
see his,
I get that
you should
all
see
the
his
time.
calves. Yeah,
Okay,
can you put a picture in the chat for everyone of your calves?
No, I'll make sure to have it for next week. Speaking of
All
chat,
right, we'll save
Speaking of
that
chat-
for Mark's OnlyFans.
I want to say hi to a bunch of people in chat right now. We got Izzy, we got Jess, we got Pyro, we got Andrea, Mr. Doopy, or was that Dopey? I'm not sure, but
think it's Dopey,
yeah,
Doopy.
I love the name.
Hey.
And Pyra says some scientist loves Planet of the Apes a little too much, and Hollywood
Yes.
isn't doing any more sequels, so he did what he
Yes.
had to do.
Pyra's
That's
just
funny.
the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, yeah.
She's, I love it.
She's
I love
awesome.
her.
She's great.
Mr. Doopy, I think that might be my buddy James from Seaforth. Izzy is my buddy from Seaforth. I've been training Izzy how to drive lately. He's awesome, and we just laugh all day long at me losing my mind at the fact that the world is changing 100% every day, and he just loves to let me vent.
I couldn't even imagine being in a job where I had to drive with you all day.
Oh my God, no, we laugh. He likes me. He gets me.
All right.
He gets me.
He's watching the video, so
Yeah.
fair enough.
I love him. I love him. All right, next one. Next one.
I
Mark.
personally don't think I could be around someone that does conspiracy, on their brain all the time. I think I would find that exhausting. But
Listen.
next
That's
story,
fine.
boys. Next story. Let's move on. So this is a little bit more serious. It's something that's happening here in BC. So we got some big changes to I guess the rules, you could say. So the BC changes COVID course. Travel bans and vaccines for those over 40. So just to
Except
summarize,
I haven't got mine yet.
just to summarize, it looks as though there's going to be limits around the
Show this live broadcasting, okay? You understand?
Hey,
parenting.
so you want to be a
Parenting.
parent? So you want to be a parent?
Jesus.
Yeah, man, this story hit me hard. This put me for a loop. And if I'm ever upset about something, I'll text Mark at 11:45 at night,
Yeah.
like 900 times, and he's pretty much talking me down off a ledge. Here's the thing. I'm just not physically in shape for the Hunger Games yet because if my district has to go up against someone else's district, I need like a couple weeks to get ready because that's what this feels like. We can't leave our district. Like it just feels like a literal. I'm Mockingjay now. I'm a Mockingjay,
Yeah.
and it seems a bit weird, and seems a bit extreme, and whatever. But the beauty, the silver lining in all of this is that we are pretty much. Like other than Vancouver, I think, all the way to Abbotsford, we're all in the same district, right? Isn't that right?
Yeah, they changed it to make the Lower Mainland one district because people were like, wait a minute, I live in Burnaby, but I work a block in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And I travel my district.
They rolled it back today, but when they first said it, it wasn't including Vancouver because the Vancouver Police Department, they were like, we're not doing roadblocks and checkpoints. What are you talking about? We're police, not prison guards. We're not prison guards. You know what I mean? So big ups to the Vancouver Police Department. You got it right this time. And, for all the heat cops are taking and whatever, VPD, I really thumbs up to that. And I think it eased a lot of us because we all were ready to like stockpile toilet paper again, I think. I was. I'll admit it.
Like to, yeah. I mean, I found like I feel like the government's pretty chill about all this stuff, and then people kind of start like losing their minds. They're just like, okay, just try not to do like, what did they say? You know, basically just like try not to do casual trips, and everyone's like, they're like, whoa,
Wow.
okay, if you got to work or you got to shop, we get it, but try
That
not
was
to
a
go
lot
loose.
of swearing.
Yeah,
That was a lot of
yeah, yeah.
swearing
I'm
you
glad-
just did, Jeremy.
It's like Discord muted Jeremy there, kind of
Yeah,
on
there was
its
just
own.
like-
No, it was
But
perfect.
it was true because that's how people were. And then even today, right? Like they were all losing their minds about flights from India. I guess
my
today
gosh.
people decided that flights to India was bad news bears. And in the course of the day, the government banned them. But it started in the morning with people outraged and the government being like, well, I don't know if we should ban them or not. And I guess enough people were mad on Twitter that by the afternoon, they're like, all right, calm down with the hashtags.
Yes. Well, here's the thing, man. Because for like 2 weeks now, we've been hearing about the India variant, right? And it's been like
double mutant.
they've been like fear, India variant, right? And
Yeah.
then you're like, yeah, that sounds bad. And then you find out today and yesterday they're like, wait, they haven't stopped flights from India? You're scaring me
What-
so much.
Yeah, so I can't travel to Vancouver, but if someone
Yes.
can fly, there's this dude
Gotta go
that I
Cubs.
that buds with, and he texted into the show today that said, "Oh no, you can travel anywhere you want in Vancouver. You just have to have a connecting flight through India." It's like,
Yeah.
no, thank you.
It's unbelievable, man. 300,000 people are sick, 2,000 deaths in one day. And
It's
they're like,
nuts.
you know what? Let's just keep them coming in.
Um,
But anyways,
real-
moving on to the next story.
Well, actually, before we move on to the next story, I just want to say hello to Matthew Baker. He said half ace. And Mr. Doopy says, I'd pick some sort of bird, referring to our last question. What kind of animal would you like to combine yourself
Yeah.
with? He says it'd be some sort of bird I could fly to work avoiding traffic. Maybe an eagle. Wow, that's very inspiring.
That is inspiring.
Very inspiring. He also
Thank you,
says,
Mr. Duke.
nope, it's Rob Mason. Sorry to
We
disappoint.
love you. We
Who's
love you, Rob.
Who's Rob Mason?
He
Oh, Rob's
followed
there.
us with trivia. And we're friends with him on
Oh, I see.
Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, Rob's our bud.
Beautiful.
Rob, we
well,
love you, man.
We're thrilled that you're here, Rob. Thank you for coming here. Just my quick take on this story, gentlemen, is if that's okay, on
Yeah.
this
Sure,
police things. Yeah. So I think generally, I think the police are complete cowards, and they've missed out on their duty. Right, it's their duty to protect us, and what the police won't do, I hope that the National Guard will do.
Okay, it's time for Mark to separate.
I love it. See, this is why we need a French Canadian on the show.
Yeah, this is why the French Canadian wants the Canadian
I love
military to get involved. I love it.
But listen, if you're going to
Setting
give
up a
shit-
checkpoint at 12th and Broadway.
Hey,
Or
I'll
boundary.
man my own checkpoint. I'll do my own checkpoint on the street corner. I'll chip in, right? Papier,
be like,
papier, s'il vous
tabarnak.
plaît. Tabarnak, papier, s'il vous plaît.
Now he's saying words. Those are swear words.
Yeah.
listen,
Before we move
Sorry,
on to
one-
the next story, actually, I just wanted to ask you, Justin, could you pull out a trivia question? Because I think it would be a good time.
okay, I'm going to pull out a trivia question. And while I do that, I'm going to have to give a shout out to Andrea Baker because you just gave a shout out to Matthew Baker. And
That's my
Andrea's
brother.
been here. They're both siblings of Jeremy, but Andrea's been here, both weeks and stuff, and she's great, and she's been amazing. So shout out to her as well. Matthew, you are no better than your sister, and stop thinking that you are. Okay, here we go. General trivia. All right. Here we go. Raised in New Orleans. Oh, by the way, if you get this question right, first person to say it in the chat will win free tickets to Justin Nichols Comedy Brawl 2026. Here we go. Raised in New Orleans, what musician debuted as a judge on American Idol in 2014? He recently just did a new appearance, releasing a new single on Sunday. He was a guest artist or whatever you would say in between acts. He was an Idol judge in 2014. Name for me that musician, please. Name for me that position.
Is it the dude from Maroon 5?
Yeah. Oh my God. Jess Moran said hi, handsome to me. I don't know who Jess Moran is, but listen, I'm married, Jess Moran, so just back off.
Wait, is that just Jess?
Okay, you know what? You
Yeah.
never pulled back the curtain, Jeremy. What are you doing?
This is this is a role play
Okay.
that's happening right now.
No one is getting that question. All right, I'll move on.
Hold on. Someone, Andrea said RDJ.
I don't know what RDJ is, but that's not their.
That's not the answer.
That's not their initials. All right, let's go to. Maybe there aren't a lot of American Idol fans. Here we go. All right. What motor lodge uses the slogan "We'll leave the light on for you"? What motor lodge uses the phrase "We'll leave the light on for you"? Very popular chain.
Oh, I'm not supposed to guess.
But you know it. You should know it.
Right.
You're my partner in trivia, right?
I'm gonna say the Motel 6.
Oh, you know what? We're gonna go back to the first question. Rob Mason got it right. It is Harry Connick Jr. for the first question. Congratulations, Rob.
Oh.
You win 2, 4, 6, 8. You want 10? I'll give you 10 tickets to the show. I
Wow.
don't care. It's not even happening.
You
But I
just
will
sold
let you
out the
know it
room. You just sold out the room.
Yeah, the solo. Way to go.
That's what you call papering the room. That's what you call papering the room. All right. We'll move on to the next
Oh
one.
my God.
Congratulations, Rob.
All right, congratulations. We are waiting for trivia, right? I mean, that's the whole point of the show.
That's
We're
the
here.
whole point of the show.
The three of us are sitting here waiting for trivia with our audience, who used to be part of, I guess, our trivia thing, and the new people that are joining us. But really, that's all we're doing. We're waiting for trivia, and we're trying to amuse ourselves with random trivia questions. That's how bad it's gotten, gentlemen.
Can't do trivia, but you can fly to Canada from India. So that is important. We have
exactly.
everything lined up.
Priorities. Let's see. Mr. Doopy said, I dig his old stuff, not his last album, though. Harry Connick Jr. Okay, so I didn't know that
There's some fans.
Yeah. He's
good.
all right. He's a pretty good actor, too, right?
Yeah. Independence Day, baby.
Yeah.
Independence Day. That was him.
All right.
Next story.
We had, let's see, there was an outage this week, right? So there was a huge outage across Canada with Rogers. So it was a day-long outage. But we really don't have any indication of why or what happened.
No, it was what did they say? It was like a update their software or something ridiculous.
I heard earthquake. Did someone just make that up on Twitter or something?
Well, yeah, because how would there be an earthquake?
Wait a minute. People can lie on Twitter. Shut your mouth.
Yeah,
right.
wait a minute.
I just want to say this: if what happened that day with Rogers and everyone freaking out because they didn't have cell service all day isn't any indication. Any natural disaster, and we are screwed. We are softer than two
Right.
Okay? We're done, bud. Okay? Everyone was freaking out like the world was ending. Everyone goes to Facebook and is like, my phone, are you guys? And it was like, yeah, my phone too. What are we going to do?
And then there's the nerd like me. It's like, not me. I'm on Bell.
I'm jealous. Ooh, like
yeah, look at me go. But yeah, it was something like a third of all Canadians had their cell reception like knocked out, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is." And it was seriously, I think because they were updating software and it didn't quite take right.
Well, you know what? It must have been all that government subsidy that Bell collected that was meant for small business that helped them stay up and online. Good job, Bell. Well played, you savages.
This reminds me of another weird outage that happened. Remember, I think it was a couple of years ago, we had a lot of these SkyTrain kind of failings and outings and all sorts of stuff going on. And apparently there was a software mistake or a software that they had to change for the SkyTrain. And it turns out that the computer that ran the SkyTrain kind of a system, what used diskettes. You know those huge diskettes? Like not little floppy disks, but
yeah.
Like large 5-inch
real
disks.
tape, real computer stuff.
Pretty much. And I mean,
punch cards.
This is a modern, SkyTrain, transit operation, and it's just shocking how some of these systems are just so old. All right.
Well, that's our infrastructure, man. We don't got money to spend right now. Everyone's collecting that CRB. We gotta spend money on that.
All right. So next story, gentlemen. So I really know nothing about this one.
I was like, looked way into it. I'm like, what does it say? It's so
So
little.
a tire slasher leaves severed finger. Yeah.
Do you want me to? I know about this. I read
go
the whole
ahead.
thing
So
and I
tire
watched the
slasher
video.
leaves severed finger behind on a woman's driveway.
Maricopa County.
So I'm just gonna give some on the spot feedback, and I'm assuming that for the next show, it would probably be beneficial for us and our audience that we actually read the article.
That's a really good idea.
All right, so we all have our strengths and weaknesses in this area. But anyways, I read this one, and basically a dispute happened between neighbors, and there was drinks involved, and he was hammered, and he was asked to leave the house to go home. He was drunk. Sleep it off, Ed, as they said, right? And he didn't like that. He went back home to get a knife to come back, not to stab anyone or anything, but just to slash the tires of his neighbor's car, because reasonable, right? And he must have been so drunk that he cut his own finger off when trying to slash the tire. And then he panicked, and then he ran home, leaving his finger in the driveway.
And a trail of blood.
Yes, and a trail of blood all the way to his front door. And another neighbor heard him screaming and crying, bawling, actually, because he cut his finger off and he forgot to go pick it up. So she called the cops. The neighbor called the cops, right, after he tried to fight her husband. And she goes, they go, do you know who did it? And she goes, well, I have a pretty good idea. And if you can find him, I think this belongs to him. And she was like, I'm not even mad. She goes, I'm not even mad. It's a tire. I can replace a tire. It cost him a finger. And you know what? We'll just chalk this one up to karma.
Even Stevens.
So my heart goes out to that dude, because what he thought was going to be a great revenge idea turned out to be maybe the worst day of his life. So sorry to hear that, bud.
I know, like, for the rest of time, he's gonna have to explain this to everybody. You know what I mean? It's like, what up to your finger, cool. Ed? It's like, ooh, touchy.
Bizarre.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
All right. Well, the WFT show, gentlemen, is the first thing that we say that we talk about in our little trailer is sports. All right. So let's talk about some sports here. But it is kind of sports culture news. We have a story here about ARod and JLo.
Yeah, I love this story because I love JLo and I hate ARod. I just think he's such a pud. So they broke up, and that was the big story for a long time, was because ARod cheated on JLo. I don't, who knows what goes on in that guy's life. But they didn't break up right away. They were apparently working on things. And the straw that broke the camel's back here was that ARod wanted to buy the Minnesota Timberwolves basketball team. And at that point, JLo was like, yeah, I'm not moving to Minnesota, so you're done.
Right. There's a bit more to it, though. They had agreed to bid together to buy the New York Mets.
Right.
And then they lost that bid, and JLo was bitter about it. And then ARod had a side deal, just like he had a side piece.
Oh.
Bing, 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 bing. And she's like, now I'm mad. First off, who are you? And how big is your stuff that you're cheating on JLo? Like when Jada Pinkett Smith cheated on Will Smith, I'm like, who are you? Right? Like, how dare you? And Will Smith too. So that was my first thing. But literally, when the deal fell through and he was rumored to be in on the deal with the Minnesota team, she was slighted yet again, and she had enough because she's JLo. You know what I mean? But listen, if your consolation prize for getting broken up with by JLo is a major sports team, I think you're all right. I think
you're doing. I mean, ARod will be fun. I just think the guy's a pud. You know what I mean? It's just like that whole story was so out of control. The more I read it, I was just like, they said that basically JLo was done with him when he cheated. She just was like, I didn't want the reason or whatever, the narrative to be we broke up because of this infidelity. And then it just continues to spiral out of control and ends with ARod moving to Minnesota.
Yeah. ARod's simulation that he's living in is much better than my simulation. Like every day he wakes up and he's just like, so what happened? JLo broke up with me, but I'm going to buy the Minnesota Timberwolves and tomorrow I'm going to
I'm so sad. Life's hard for me.
Just like, man, life's hard, huh? Screw you. ARod, what did you do? Pull a thorn out of God's paw in a previous life or something? What is going on, man?
He's so out of control. So this next story is even funnier to me. This is the Miami Marlins are just the most tragic baseball team, and they don't help themselves when they hired what year was this? They hired Barry Bonds to be their hitting coach.
Yeah, like 4 years ago or something. But he was hitting coach, I think, in San
Fran
for a bit.
magical season in Miami.
Well, I would like to know why anyone thinks that the worst personality, the worst person in baseball when he was a player would be a good person when he was a coach. Barry Bonds is a notorious asshole, right? Because he's got an ego, and sometimes when you have an ego and you're an asshole, and then you do steroids, not just your muscles grow, but also your fucking asshole gene in you. And he was the worst. I don't know if you know this, but Barry Bonds in the locker room had 4 lockers. No one was allowed to sit beside Barry Bonds ever. And you know why? Because he's great, and you respect greatness. Right? As long as you hit dingers,
when you're winning, they love you.
Yeah, I love Barry Bonds. I'll be honest with you, and I normally don't love players like that guy, but he was so good for that time. And everyone wants to say, well, he was on steroids. Well, I got news for you. All the pitchers he faced were also on steroids. Okay, so it's like the Tour de France. Take Lance Armstrong's first place finish away and then give it to the next guy who didn't test positive for steroids, and you're going to be giving first place in the Tour de France to the guy who finished 137th. Okay. So Barry Bonds an asshole. He single-handedly sewered the entire Miami Marlins organization. They said he was the worst guy. He would sleep in the clubhouse.
That's
he wouldn't
so
work
funny.
with anyone. He wouldn't help. He's a hitting coach, and he wouldn't help anyone hit.
He worked with one dude. He had a buddy or something on the team.
Stanton.
He had one buddy. And then the other thing they said was so funny is that they still had a player test positive for using steroids on the Miami Marlins. I'm like,
and then he was outraged. He's like, this is crap. And he walks away. And everyone's like, are you serious? You were a sponsor for steroids.
So what kind of advice is Barry Bonds giving to batters, like where to put the TRT, like where to inject it?
I'm wondering, he's like where to score, where to put the needle,
how to hide your bitch tits,
and how to secretly DM Balco.
It's just like I love how the guy who was telling the story too. He was just like, no one wanted to hire him, and the owner made us.
I think,
and then they paid him more than every other coach on the staff, and they had to hide that from the other coaches, obviously, because you piss everyone off. So Barry Bonds had an offshore numbered corporation that the Miami Marlins were paying because they didn't want the other coaches, because obviously that would create a toxic locker room.
No,
dude, I'm telling you right now, baseball is the most crooked sport in the world, and I say that knowing that soccer exists. Okay, like that's crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyways, I'm excited about this next story.
Well,
so I want to move on to
my advice, by the way, just before we go, my advice to young baseball players is buy a house in Guadalajara, Mexico. Buy a house there. That's where you get the good stuff. The stuff with the piping hot diarrhea. You know what I mean?
Right. Supplements.
Exactly. So the next story is an incredible story. I guess we can file this, gentleman, under Alex Jones was right. And this is an older story, Justin.
Yes, it was from 2017. However, this story was brought to my attention by the lovely Izzy, a drummer, by the way. We got to have him on because we like to talk music sometimes, and he's a drummer in a touring band. But he was telling me 2017 that the Fukushima meltdown created a lot of radiation in the environment or whatever, and it caused these wild boars to be radioactive. So one more thing to worry about, radioactive boars. And if you don't know, boars are like 150, 60, 200-pound animals that could murder a person and eat them in 20 minutes, okay?
I've seen the picture that's with the story. I'm already outraged.
Yes, this was in 2017. This is in 2017 that this happened. I read an article recently from the end of 2020 that says it is still a massive problem. And what Japan did, which I thought was just hilariously passive, was they just took everyone who lived in the area and moved them.
The boars live here now.
So they're more aggressive. They're toxic. If they come near you, they can give you radiation poisoning. If you eat them, you'll die. And if they bite you, you'll die. So that's
this is zombies. This is a zombie organism.
Listen. Did you want orcs? Because this is how you get orcs. This is literally like Dungeons and Dragons or World of Warcraft. This is real life stuff here. Okay?
This is real orcs.
This is why we're making monkey humans, because we need to fight
someone to fight the orcs.
Yeah.
There was a story today that said a bunch of the honey in the U.S. is radioactive because they tested so many nuclear bombs in the desert.
Oh yeah.
And the bees spread all over the place. So they go and they get the pollen from these like desert nuclear flowers, and it's now in the honey supply.
Okay, so how come they don't die? Like if we were exposed to that much radiation, we would look like Tom Hanks from Philadelphia within a week, and we'd be dead. So why are the bees immune to this? Can someone explain that to me?
Because the bees. Okay.
Any scientists in the chat, please chime in. Let us know about radiation poisoning. I feel like Pyra knows about radiation poisoning probably. All I know is that we got an issue. When the wild boars and the robots and the monkey humans, that's going to be the end of days. I think that's going to be the final battle, and we're just fodder. We're just we're just refueling food for them to keep, doing like a Matrix end of days war. So
Jake Paul's gonna fight all of them in a pay-per-view.
So smoke them if you got them.
Yeah, smoke them if you got them. I did throw up on screen there. There are tons of videos out there just for our audience and you guys too. Just look up a time lapse of every nuclear test. And
yeah.
And you can see, I mean,
no wonder all the honey is radioactive.
Yeah, I mean,
we see that little blue dot in the southwest of the U.S. just like
a lot in California looking like there. Hey,
I think that's like Nevada.
That's Nevada, and yeah, right outside in the desert, they bomb the living hell out of it. I mean, they had, they had with the Manhattan Project, they had to keep everything secret. But
in the olden days, you could do tourism to Vegas to watch them blow up bombs.
Oh my God, are you serious?
That's like 1950s Vegas.
That
They're
sounds
just
awesome.
like, go onto the rooftop of the old Rio Aladdin Sands Hotel, and we got cocktails and wear these glasses and kaboom.
Front row seats are cheaper. Why? I don't know.
I don't know.
That sounds
like you don't want to sit in a splash zone.
That sounds like the premise for a Fallout video game. The Pyra says, all I know is that radiation poisoning is good because that's how we'll get real life X-Men.
Yeah, fair enough.
But like in real life, it's like I can throw my shedding skin at you.
Yeah. In real life, my hand just falls. My fingers are
my fingernails are sharp but brittle.
Yeah, my superpower is that my tissues can't stay together.
Yeah,
all my body tissues are disintegrating.
I'm never eating honey again. I'm not eating pork or boar or.
Yeah. But I saw on Joe Rogan the other day, all the seafood and shit we put in the ocean, we eat like a credit card worth of plastic like every month or something.
Oh, I believe that.
That's hilarious. Pyra actually confirms, Jeremy, what you were saying, and she says that there was actually a beauty contest called Miss Atomic.
Miss Atomic.
Oh,
bomb.
Wow. It is, yeah, it does sound like a Fallout game.
I don't make everything up. I only make up half the things in this show.
A lot of wigs at that pageant, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah, probably.
I'm going to, at one point, I'm going to drop some serious stuff on you guys. This reminds me of another thing, another conspiracy maybe, if you will, but around the phenomena of cattle mutilations. So farmers finding cattle that are mutilated in the fields.
Oh, yeah, that's a chupacabra. That's not aliens.
Well, there are some serious theories around what's happening exactly, because it is happening. But anyway, I'll leave it for another show. But it's let's say
I thought we were going into pyramid.
Well, we're gonna go into UFOs, but cattle mutilations is like another rabbit hole that's an entirely other rabbit hole.
For people new to the show, Mark is our conspiracy theory expert, and
jump the queue.
I do not talk about conspiracy theories. I only talk about things that are confirmed, that are actually confirmed. Yeah, I only talk about the truth. So,
all right, let's talk about pyramids.
Well, actually, before we go to pyramids, did you guys want to talk about? Well, actually, quickly to segue into kind of UFOs, there's another story here where there was this joke tweet. Justin, what was this tweet you sent me where they said there was UFO sightings in Vancouver?
Oh, right.
Oh no! Did I fall for a joke tweet?
It was a joke tweet.
Oh no! I was like, Mark loves UFOs. He's gonna love this, and he'd be so proud of me that I found because he always.
I know, but Mark immediately was like, "Oh, Justin sent me a joke tweet."
I gotta fact check my shit. All right, yeah. So News 1130 tweeted that.
But it is. I mean, it is a sports story. It is a sports story. Let's see.
Oh, was it the banner?
With the banner. So
Oh.
can someone explain to me what's happening here? There's a Canucks guy that everybody's hating right now. What's the
Canucks
story?
guy.
Yeah.
Dude, Mark, you're hilarious. A Canucks guy. Are you trying to are you gonna call it sport ball next? Jesus Christ.
Can we play ice ball again?
Yeah, man. Okay. So here's how it works.
Justin hates Jim Benning personally.
I do. You know what? I get painted with a brush. Listen to what happened. This is what happened. Fans who are just trolls, and they're not really fans, they're just trolls. Because I was embarrassed.
Angry
Yeah.
people.
I was embarrassed this happened as a Canucks fan. They started a GoFundMe to get Jim Benning fired, but they wanted to pay for a plane to fly a banner around Vancouver saying "Fire Benning," and it's kind of next level trolling because like normally you just chant it at a home game, but they flew it around, and it's weird timing because the Canucks came out of the COVID crisis with two
Looking
straight
real
wins, looking
Yeah.
real good, and I think Jim's done a lot of stuff good. So I don't think it just looks bad on our fan base when everyone else is like, wow, that was a real dick move because we're in COVID and people are stressed out, and Jim's looking like he's aging like a U.S. president. Okay, Jim Benning is looking good lately, man. Okay, and then you put that up and it looked bad, but they did a GoFundMe. They made $1,600. They made more than that and donated to charity, and now we look like the fan base that everyone makes fun of us for being, and I don't like that. I don't know about you, Jeremy. But
I mean, I think it's dumb. I guess I'm not as like over the top about it. To me, it's just like a silly, goofy thing. And I know people like to dunk on Vancouver fans, but I mean, I remember Edmonton Oilers fans for years and years throwing jerseys on the ice. And like, remember the old Edmonton arena? The team had to like walk across the concourse to get to, and they used to boo. They used to line up and boo them. And this was back when the
throw
Oilers
stuff at them.
Yeah, when the Oilers were like rebuilding, it was like all literally children. You know, like Everly is like 17 years old or whatever, and they're like booing them. So I mean, all the fan bases do that. To me, I just thought it was like. Yeah, it just seemed like silly. You know, like you said, like, why are you a Canucks fan? You know what I mean? Like, if you don't like the team, like, I think a lot of Canucks fans hate like them. Does that make sense?
Look, man, they're not good. They're having a tough time. It's been a tough year, and people want to hate on whatever the hell. Look,
yeah, but they're fun. They're fun bad. Fun bad, I'll take.
Hey,
like a few years ago, they were just bad.
Justin, you realize you're wearing Blue Jays gear right now, right?
Hey man, I can be a fan of two teams in different fucking sports, bro.
Okay, I don't know how this works. I did throw up the story here. So there was a banner. Because I think that's the connection to the UFO. So people paid for a banner that said "Fire Benning" that flew over the city.
And you know what? He still works for the team. It did nothing.
Yeah. Oh darn it!
I think my favorite was when Pearson went out and scored 2 goals the other night, and I'm like, man, that Tanner Pearson contract sounded pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt. Listen, I love that I am such a moron that I fell for this. Sent it to Mark proud because Mark likes UFO stories, and I'm like, he'll love this. We can talk about it. Mark can go off about fucking UFOs, and it was like, you are dumb.
But there is a UFO story, Mark, about pyramids flying in the sky.
Pyramids flying in the sky. So yeah, I mean, so everybody knows what UFO means, right? Unidentified flying object. And since the beginning of time, I mean, people have been reporting seeing weird lights, all sorts of stuff flying around in the sky. They wrote about it, they made paintings about it, and in the modern era, there's newspaper articles, now pictures, and now recordings, now video of these objects. And but UFO is always a thing that kind of belongs in the fringe, right? It's something that people don't really take seriously. You guys, you just roll your eyes at me all the time,
constantly.
You think they're all drones.
So, there's not much respect that I get for, for being an advocate and a believer in this stuff.
Advocating for the UFO.
Dangerfield over here. Can't get no UFO respect.
Anyway, so
sorry, I love you.
But the audience will see that this is the type of stigma that you have to deal with when you're talking about serious topics like unidentified flying craft that are appearing in the sky. So this is just case in point right here. I think the audience can see. They're smart people. In any case, so there is a very interesting story that came out. So The big story in UFOs for the last 5 years or so have been these reported sightings, these incursions, if you will, of objects, what they call UAP now, unidentified aerial phenomena, into military ranges. So over Navy ships out at sea.
And it seems crazy because if the UFOs don't want to be found, why are they flying over military assets?
Well, that's a very, very interesting question. So
why is phenomena spelled with a P and not an F? Okay. Anyways, I'm digressing. Sorry, I do this to Mark. I'm an asshole. I love you, Mark. Continue, because this is a big deal. And Jeremy's question is true. If you don't want to be seen, why would you be flying over the very people whose job it is to look out for you?
This is fine. This is exemplary of the job that's ahead of us to educate the public on these matters.
Educate me in justice.
All right. So recently, there's been these incursions in military ranges, these training ranges, and these are highly secure. Water areas, that are controlled by the Navy, by billion-dollar battle group ships, carriers, destroyers, submarines, the gamut, these huge battle groups. Pyra says probably secret German World War II's surplus craft. Actually, there's some truth to that, and we'll get to that some other time.
This has got to be a new. I'm loving this.
No. That is true.
This is a new favorite segment.
We'll talk about Operation Paperclip some other time. But now let's talk about the Navy. So now that's why when people talk about UFOs, it's like, no, it's only kooks. It's a guy that's drunk on his on his porch that saw like a star or something. But no, now in the last 5 years or so, we have actual confirmed sightings that are confirmed by the U.S. Department of Defense. So in early in the mid 2000s, we had these incursions by objects called the Tic Tac, what they called the Tic Tac. So this was it was actually I'll show you guys a video.
Bob Lazar. So glad you're bringing up Bob Lazar.
So this is one of the first video. This is what they call the gimbal video. So this was an object. So this is what you see on screen is an object that is being filmed and chased by an F-18, a Navy F-18, and they're
moving at like 500 miles an hour. Right?
Yeah, they're 25K, and this object, and you can't hear right now, but the pilots are saying it's an object that is moving against the wind, and now you'll see there will be a sudden rotation of the object. And it will stop moving, or it'll slow down, and it became. So this was filmed by an F-18, and this was actually confirmed. The last video I showed you, the Department of Defense of the United States confirmed that this was an unidentified craft filmed by an F-18, and they don't know what it is. So that is confirmed.
100% a drone.
It's China. Come on, guys.
All right.
It's just China, isn't it? Isn't it China?
I don't want to listen to conspiracy theories. This is serious stuff, Justin. So the next thing
now is going to get very real.
Okay.
Everyone.
The next thing. So now we have this new video that came out very, very recently. So this is, again, confirmed. It was leaked by a journalist called George Knapp, who is a very famous guy, a journalist in Nevada that is always involved in all sorts of UFO stuff. So
eating all that radioactive honey.
Maybe
like a Dorito.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is kind of weird. So I'll just play that back here. So just 1 second. So 1 moment. So now this was filmed on the deck of a U.S. carrier, of a U.S. ship. And this is what they call a Snoopy team. So whenever there's weird stuff that's happening on the ship, they send out a team to take pictures of, if there's a drone or if there's something in the water or a fire or whatever. They have a team that they send to that area of the ship to take pictures and to document what's going on. So now,
yeah, that's Scully, X-Files. I saw that shit.
So now this is actual footage from a Snoopy team that was leaked to a journalist in Nevada, showing what the government has confirmed is footage of a pyramid-shaped object that was flying and kind of floating over a U.S. Navy warship. So, and this has Go ahead.
Okay. No, that's great. And dude, I'm like, this actually is kind of crazy. I'm like, dude, you're going deep here and I love it. I just don't know. Are they just posturing for the Navy? Like, are they just kind of like doing like a pull your pants down and show your butt and laugh at them kind of thing right now? Because like, wow, like
why would you go to an aircraft carrier to
the
do
ocean is big, okay? Like the ocean is vast, I've been told. And you're like, I'm gonna just fucking sit down and take a dump right on top of the U.S. Navy, right?
Yeah,
Well,
and then be like, what are you gonna do about it, U.S. Navy?
It's China. It's China. I'm telling you, man, they're fucking with U.S. They got technical abilities. They got drones that are like super drones. Maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to find the logic, but it doesn't even make sense.
Well,
because you're gonna hit me with it can move at 1 billion miles an hour and drop, right? And
well,
no propulsion.
the Tic Tac object that was chased by a F-18 piloted by Commander David Fravor, and this is all documented and official stuff. This is not bullshit or conspiracy. It was tracked at going from space, so tens of thousands of miles, in the air. And it would drop in 1 second to about 10 feet over the ocean. And it would do that over and over. They tracked objects that would be doing that in the ocean.
In in a second, though, right?
Yeah.
Didn't it, or whatever? So here's my question. Can we contact the aliens and get them to, separate the billionaires from their money? Can we get out of this under the foot of the cabal and the Illuminati that have clearly just been pinning us down? Can the aliens come and help us here? Can you
Okay, well,
come on.
these are actually really good questions for someone that's really uninformed about the subject. So the first thing is like, okay, let's look at the possibilities. What is it, right? So let's say it's an alien, right? Let's say it's a craft, like what we would typically think of an alien craft. It's a thing that's coming to this planet from another planet visiting us. So that's one possibility, but that's difficult to prove. Let's say possibility number 2, that it is Russian or Chinese, right? As like they've developed some kind of advanced technology. So aren't we kind of in trouble if the U.S. Department of Defense, the biggest navy in the world, $1 trillion navy, cannot handle little drones like that and is admitting openly that they have no idea what is going on?
Yeah, that's kind of scary to think about.
Right?
You know what? Yeah, that is scary.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks.
I hope it's not a drone from Russia or China, because that would be like, oh, we are.
Well, imagine, because we're dealing with asymmetrical warfare these days, and we don't really know. We haven't had a huge conflict, an open conflict in a while, right? So we don't know what the real capabilities of these other, world adversaries are. So let's say, that's one scary possibility. But the other scary possibility, let's say it is ours. Let's say it is something that's being developed by the United States or by someone else, that's on our side, so to speak.
Yeah,
well,
like SHIELD.
We're talking about technology now that has almost infinite power, that has the ability to traverse space at, crazy speeds. It is something that would revolutionize humanity forever, if it is indeed ours. So that means, if it is ours, that means that people have developed on our side this technology that could change everything, that could change the game and energy and transportation for all of us, for humanity. And they keep it under wraps, and they are not releasing it to us.
Do you have a scenario that's positive?
No.
Yeah. Okay, so we are like mainstream media right now. I just want you to understand. We were like, hey, monkey people are gonna kill us, and if they don't, radioactive boars are gonna kill us. And now Mark's like, also there's these people in the sky that they're gonna fucking kill us.
Exactly. So
it's a very uplifting
so
show.
we're
Like I
feeling
almost,
good.
yeah, I want to go back to the fire Benning banner.
Well, it's what we call full spectrum. So that's the UFO news, gentlemen. So confirmed by the United States Department of Defense, pyramid-shaped objects are floating over Navy warships.
Well,
all right, aliens confirmed. Hey, we didn't even get into the psyops. Is that going to be next week, Mark?
I've been talking to these guys about this subject, and I'm going to admit, this is like the first degree of looking at these questions. This is like the first level. And there's it's really the tip of the iceberg. And once
we're not ready for level 2 yet.
Once you get into these stories and what's going on in this, in this topic, it's insane. It's really, really insane. With everything that's going on in there and all the government spooks and the psyops, like Jeremy is saying, it's really interesting.
Hey, could we, question from my producer, Mark, Could we get David Duchovny? Could we get David Duchovny to come in here and shed some light on this? And him and Scully could come in here and maybe like you know what I mean, like open our eyes to this. I think they'd have some good insight.
I don't think so.
Do you know
Does he live in Vancouver?
fucking Hate. I don't know, man. But I can just see Mark gripping his nude right now, like his nude vodka drink. And he's like, fuck you. Don't
I
ever
really,
fucking say-
I'm not like this is an aside, but I really hate Mulder in X-Files. I think he's the worst, one of the worst characters. The X-Files was the story of Dana Scully. Mulder is like a piece of fucking furniture. Anyway,
Yeah, he really is. All right, let's talk to the chat for a second here, though.
Yeah.
I want to know in the chat, guys, do you believe in any of this stuff Mark is bringing up? And I'm telling you, I've talked to Mark about this stuff. This is legit stuff. The U.S. military is legitimately confirming. They're like, stuff's out there, we don't know. And then there's also people who monitor the radar, right? And they're like,
That's
yeah,
right.
we've seen this stuff a lot, and we don't know what the hell it is. We have no idea, but we just kind of move on with our day. It shows up, we're like, maybe it's a bird.
Yep.
And then they just move on. And they're like, no, for sure.
Honestly, that would be me at work at the radar. They, the captain would be like, "What is that?" I'm like, "It's a lot of paperwork. Let's just let it fly."
no,
It
but
looks
Jeremy
like
w-
Miss Canada.
Such a Canadian radar monitoring system. It's just Jeremy
Lot
with his
of
vape pen. Jeremy with his
I
vape pen.
love
Just
a
be
vape
like,
pen, and the captain's like,
He's
"What is
like,
that?" I'm like, "That's a lot of paperwork if you want to stay late."
he's like, well, I'm sure they have good intentions. I'm sure they're fine.
and that's how 0 Point Energy was lost to us all.
Zero care. Let's just trust them. Open borders. Let's come on in, aliens. I love it. By the way, I love that. We're going to do that again. I think that should be a regular segment. I'm really enjoying that. Chat, let us know if you like the conspiracy/alien segment. That's really fun. We're going to have a lot of fun with that one.
Well,
in
and
the
also,
chat,
we should
please.
just clarify it's not conspiracy because everything that Mark says is real.
Yes, everything I said is just conspiracy fodder. Everything Mark said is confirmed, and that's why we love him. In the chat, though, please let us know what you think. Tell us if you believe. Tell us if you're a believer. Tell us if you have something else, some conspiracy you want to hear. Please smash that like button. Subscribe to our channel. I saw a couple people I haven't recognized. Gordon Purchase. Gordon, really happy to have you, buddy. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe, and tell us. We are a show for the people. Okay, so if you like a story or you want something told, we'll talk about it. We'll do it. Right? We're adaptable, right, Jeremy?
We are. And I say hey to Gordon because I worked with Gordon.
Did you really? Who is Gordon?
Gordon is he's like an event planner.
Oh, Gordon. All right, I should link up with that guy because I have events that I'd like to plan.
He makes them pretty.
Well, Gordon, happy to have you. Really like you. When he's talking
Coral
about-
just said you couldn't afford Gord, but that's cool.
Wow, Coral knows Gordon.
Yeah,
I'm
well, she
no
knows what company.
ARod. I'm no ARod.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being part of the show. I
Yeah.
can take off out of here.
This was a fun one. I really enjoyed it. Mark, we like that. Jeremy, you were on fire. And chat, thank you so much, guys. Pyra, April, Gord, Mr. What was his
Dubé.
name? Mr.
Doobie.
Love you too. Jess, I was talking to my wife in the chat because she's in the other room. And I was like, hey, babe, can you make me a drink? And she's like, coming right up, handsome. And I was like, God, I love that lady.
Right.
And that's a good relationship.
No, it's only because it's in public. It's only because this is happening in public. That's the only reason.
I love her. All right. And we love you guys. This has been fun. We had a good crowd. I think we had, what, did we get to 10,000 tonight?
10,000
viewers?
10,000
That's
viewers.
pretty good for a second episode.
Yeah.
I would
Not
say.
bad
You know
for
what I
a
mean?
second
Not-
episode. Yeah.
Not bad.
I mean, some YouTube videos have less viewers, so I don't want to make fun of them. but-
You know what we should do? We should promo. We should just promo a little more and also read all the articles we're talking about. And I think we'll get to 20. All right, we're going to come back next week on Thursday. We're going to bring some hilarious stuff. Also, too, if you have any of us on Facebook, please feel free during the week to send us a funny or interesting article or story that you have read online and you're like, Justin, Jeremy, and Mark are going to love this. We want to include you, and also we want to recruit you to be our story finders. We're lazy. Lazy. I got kids.
Researchers,
So anyways,
researchers,
we love you all.
interns.
Mark, yes, interns. That's what we are. We need interns. We love you all. Thank you so much. On behalf of Jeremy and Mark, I'm Justin Nichol. You're watching the Waiting for Trivia podcast live stream. We'll see you next week. Cheers.